projected 35% increase in investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025, implications for media education and legal industries in a global context. Overview. As we approach the first quarter of 2025, industry experts are predicting a remarkable 35% increase in the fields of investigative journalism and historical research. This anticipated growth is set to reshape the media landscape, impact educational frameworks, and influence legal practices worldwide. This report delves into the implications of this shift, highlighting key themes, differences among sources, and the projected timeline for developments in these sectors. Growing demand for investigative journalism. The demand for investigative journalism has surged in recent years, fueled by a public yearning for transparency and accountability. Major global events such as political scandals, social injustices, and the spread of misinformation have heightened the need for in-depth reporting that can expose truth and foster societal change. Public accountability. Investigative journalism plays a critical role in holding powerful entities accountable. Reports indicate that citizens are increasingly turning to journalists to uncover corruption and malfeasance, leading to a growing audience for investigative stories. Technological advancements. The rise of digital tools and resources has empowered journalists to conduct more thorough investigations. Data analysis software, social media monitoring tools, and collaborative platforms have become essential in the investigative toolkit, enabling journalists to navigate complex stories more effectively. Global connectivity and collaboration. The Global Investigative Journalism Conference (GIJC) serves as a pivotal platform for journalists globally, fostering networking opportunities and collaborative projects. The 2025 conference, scheduled for November 20 to 24 in Kuala Lumpur, is expected to gather participants from over 132 countries. Emphasizing the importance of international cooperation in investigative reporting. Cross-border investigations. Many stories require cooperation across national boundaries. Journalists are increasingly collaborating on investigations that span multiple countries, sharing insights and methodologies to address global issues. Empowering diverse voices. The conference highlights participation from journalists in the Global South who often face unique challenges. By amplifying these voices, the GIJC creates an environment where diverse perspectives can contribute to global narratives. Educational implications. The projected growth in investigative journalism necessitates a re-evaluation of educational curricula within journalism schools and training programs. Skill development. Future journalists must be equipped with advanced skills in research methodologies, digital tools, and ethical reporting practices. Programs are evolving to include more practical training, focusing on real-world applications. Workshops and training. Institutions are expected to host workshops and training sessions aimed at enhancing the investigative skills of students and professionals alike. The emphasis will be on practical experience and the use of technology in storytelling. Industry insights from various sources. The insights provided by different sources reveal both common themes and unique perspectives regarding the projected growth in these sectors. Reuters Institute reports. The reports from the Reuters Institute outline industry trends and technological advancements that are shaping the future of journalism. They emphasize the need for adaptability within the media landscape to meet changing audience expectations. GIJC emphasis on community. In contrast, the GIJC focuses on the community aspect of journalism, highlighting personal experiences and the transformative impact of networking among journalists. This grassroots perspective illustrates the importance of collaboration and support within the industry. Geographical disparities. Some sources point out the disparities between regions, particularly the challenges faced by journalists in developing countries. These perspectives underscore the importance of tailored approaches to training and resources that consider local contexts. Projected timeline of developments. A timeline of expected developments provides a framework for understanding how these trends may unfold. Present 2023. a growing acknowledgement of the vital role investigative journalism and historical research play in addressing societal issues driven by significant global events. Mid-2024, technological advancements are anticipated to enhance the capabilities of investigative journalists, leading to improved reporting standards. Late 2025, the GIJC in Kuala Lumpur will be a significant event for knowledge exchange and collaboration among investigative journalists, further empowering the field. Use cases and data insights. Data collected from previous GIJC events highlights the value of these conferences in advancing investigative journalism. Networking opportunities. A significant percentage of attendees reported that the conference was extremely useful, underscoring the need for continuous professional development. Digital tools. Journalists have expressed that the adoption of digital tools and collaborative methodologies has become standard practice, enhancing their capacity to conduct thorough investigations. Conclusion. The projected 35% increase in investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025 signals a transformative period for media education and legal frameworks globally. As demand for transparency and accountability continues to rise, the industries involved must adapt to support a more informed and engaged public. The emphasis on collaboration, technological integration, and education reforms will ensure that journalists are well equipped to meet the challenges of the future, thereby fostering a culture of truth and accountability in society. The projected 35% increase in investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025 is significant, indicating a notable shift in various industries. However, several counterintuitive insights emerge from this projection that challenge conventional wisdom. 1. The paradox of demand and resources. While one might assume that increased demand for investigative journalism would lead to more resources being allocated to the sector, the reality is more complex. Many traditional media outlets face financial pressures, resulting in staff cuts and reduced investigative budgets. This paradox highlights that the growth in demand does not necessarily translate into proportional growth in resources, suggesting that journalists may need to find innovative, cost-effective methods of conducting investigations rather than relying on traditional funding models. 2. Global South's unique challenges. The emphasis on the Global South's participation in investigative journalism initiatives, such as the Global Investigative Journalism Conference (GIJC), reveals a counterintuitive trend. Despite facing greater risks, political instability, and fewer resources, journalists from these regions are often at the forefront of investigative efforts. This challenges the notion that only well-funded, stable environments can produce high-quality investigative journalism. Instead, these journalists often employ grassroots methods and community engagement to uncover truths, suggesting resilience and adaptability in challenging contexts. 3. Technology's double-edged sword. The anticipated advancements in technology and methodologies for investigative journalism can be seen as a double-edged sword. While technology provides tools that enhance reporting capabilities, it also raises ethical questions about surveillance, privacy, and the potential for misinformation. As journalists adopt more sophisticated digital tools, the line between ethical reporting and invasive practices becomes blurred. This complexity suggests that while technology can empower journalists, it also necessitates a heightened awareness of ethical implications that may not be immediately apparent. 4. Education's reactive nature. The discussion surrounding the need for changes in educational curricula to support the growth of investigative journalism reveals a counterintuitive aspect. Educational institutions often lag behind industry needs. While the growth in investigative journalism is projected, educational systems may not be agile enough to adapt quickly. This creates a gap where aspiring journalists may enter the workforce without the necessary skills or understanding of the current landscape, contradicting the expectation that education should be proactive in preparing students for industry trends. 5. The illusion of abundant collaboration. The narrative around increased networking and collaboration among journalists globally suggests a utopian ecosystem where ideas flow freely across borders. However, the reality can be quite different. Cultural, linguistic, and logistical barriers often impede effective collaboration. While conferences like GIJC facilitate connections, the actual execution of collaborative projects may be hindered by these challenges, leading to a disconnect between the ideal of collaboration and the practicalities involved in executing cross-border investigations. 6. Misinformation's role in driving demand. The rise in investigative journalism is frequently attributed to a societal push for accountability and transparency. However, this demand is paradoxically fueled by the very misinformation and disinformation that plagues modern media. As audiences become more aware of fake news and misleading narratives, they increasingly seek out reliable investigative reports. This raises questions about whether the growth of investigative journalism is a proactive response to societal needs or a reactive measure to counteract the negative impact of misinformation, indicating a cyclical relationship rather than a linear progression. 7. Ethical reporting amidst competition. In a landscape where investigative journalism is increasingly competitive, the pressure to publish findings quickly can compromise the ethical standards of reporting. Journalists may feel compelled to prioritize speed over thoroughness, potentially leading to sensationalism or incomplete narratives. This counterintuitive dynamic suggests that as the sector grows, the integrity of investigative journalism could be at risk, challenging the assumption that increased competition leads to improved quality. 8. The role of historical research. The inclusion of historical research in this projected growth signifies a broader understanding of context in journalism. However, it also reveals a counterintuitive trend. The need for historical context is often overlooked in fast-paced news cycles. As investigative journalists strive to provide in-depth analyses, the integration of historical perspectives may not be prioritized. Despite its importance in understanding current events, this gap suggests a need for a more intentional approach to blending historical insights with contemporary journalism. Conclusion. The projected increase in investigative journalism and historical research sectors unveils several counterintuitive dynamics that challenge traditional perceptions of growth and development in these fields. These insights underscore the complexity of the media landscape, highlighting that increased demand does not always equate to improved resources or practices. As the sectors evolve, it will be essential for stakeholders to navigate these counterintuitive realities to foster a more robust and ethical investigative journalism environment. The report on the projected 35% increase in the investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025 identifies several critical implications that many might overlook. Despite their significance in shaping the future of these fields and their broader impact on society. 1. The role of technology in enhancing investigative journalism. One significant point that may not receive adequate attention is the pivotal role of technology in facilitating investigative journalism. The report highlights advancements in digital tools and methodologies that are becoming standard practice. This includes data analysis software, social media monitoring, and digital forensics, enabling journalists to uncover stories that would be otherwise inaccessible. Significance. The integration of new technologies not only enhances the capacity of journalists to conduct in-depth investigations but also democratizes the process. With the rise of citizen journalism and the accessibility of digital tools, individuals outside traditional media roles can contribute to investigative efforts, fostering a more informed public. This shift could lead to a broader spectrum of voices and perspectives in journalism, ultimately enriching the field and enhancing accountability. 2. Global connectivity and collaboration. The emphasis on global connectivity, particularly through platforms like the Global Investigative Journalism Conference (GIJC), is another essential aspect that warrants closer examination. The conference fosters collaboration among journalists from diverse backgrounds, highlighting the importance of cross-border investigations and the sharing of best practices. Significance: this global perspective is crucial in an era where many issues transcend national borders, such as climate change, human rights abuses, and financial corruption. Collaborative efforts can lead to more comprehensive investigations that hold powerful entities accountable regardless of geographical limitations. Furthermore, the involvement of journalists from the Global South adds unique insights and challenges that often remain underrepresented in mainstream narratives, thus enriching the global discourse on investigative journalism. 3. Educational adaptations to meet industry needs. The report notes that the expansion of investigative journalism necessitates changes in educational curricula. However, the depth of this transformation is often underestimated. As the demand for skilled investigative journalists grows, educational institutions must adapt their programs to include advanced training in digital tools, data literacy, and ethical reporting practices. Significance: the evolution of journalism education is vital for producing a new generation of journalists equipped to tackle complex societal issues. By emphasizing critical thinking, ethical considerations, and advanced research methodologies, educational programs can better prepare students to engage with the increasingly challenging landscape of media. This shift not only impacts the quality of journalism but also enhances the role of media in fostering a more informed and engaged citizenry. 4. Implications for the legal industry. While the report primarily addresses media and educational sectors, the implications for the legal industry are profound yet often overlooked. Investigative journalism frequently intersects with legal issues, particularly in cases involving corruption, human rights violations, and corporate misconduct. Increased investigative efforts can lead to a greater volume of legal challenges against powerful entities. Significance: as investigative journalism becomes more robust, legal frameworks may need to adapt to support journalistic endeavors while protecting press freedom. This could involve reforms in defamation laws, protections for whistleblowers, and clearer guidelines on the use of public records. The legal industry must recognize the symbiotic relationship between journalism and law, as both play critical roles in upholding democracy and accountability. 5. Impact on public trust and engagement. The projected increase in investigative journalism is closely tied to public demand for transparency and accountability. As citizens become more aware of issues like corruption and social injustice, their expectation for media to investigate these matters intensifies. Significance: this growing demand could lead to a renaissance in public trust in journalism, provided that media outlets can deliver high-quality, fact-based reporting. Conversely, if media fails to meet these expectations, it risks further eroding public confidence. The ability of investigative journalism to engage the public and foster an informed citizenry is crucial for the health of democratic societies. 6. Sustainability of investigative journalism. Amid the projected growth, sustainability remains a critical concern. The financial models that support investigative journalism, ranging from nonprofit funding to subscription-based models, are under constant pressure. While the increase in demand for investigative work is promising, it does not automatically translate to financial viability. Significance: the sustainability of investigative journalism is essential for its longevity and impact. If funding models do not evolve alongside the sector, there may be a gap between the demand for quality investigative work and the resources available to produce it. Addressing this challenge is vital for ensuring that investigative journalism can continue to thrive and fulfill its role in society. Conclusion: the projected growth in investigative journalism and historical research presents a transformative opportunity for media education and legal industries globally. However, the implications of this shift extend beyond mere statistics. They touch on fundamental aspects of democracy, accountability, and the public's right to know. By recognizing and addressing the overlooked dimensions of this increase, stakeholders across sectors can better prepare for the changes ahead and work collaboratively to enhance the role of investigative journalism in society. 1. Growing demand for transparency and accountability. The projected 35% increase in investigative journalism is largely driven by a societal shift towards greater demands for transparency and accountability from public institutions and private entities. As political corruption, social injustice, and misinformation become increasingly prevalent, the public seeks in-depth reporting that can expose wrongdoing and inform citizens. This trend indicates a broader acknowledgement of the critical role investigative journalism plays in upholding democratic values and fostering informed citizenry. The demand for accountability is not only a response to immediate societal issues but also reflects a long-term cultural shift towards valuing truth and ethical standards in media. 2. Global collaboration and networking. The importance of global connectivity and collaboration among journalists is underscored by events like the Global Investigative Journalism Conference (GIJC). With participation from over 132 countries, the conference serves as a pivotal platform for journalists to share best practices, tools, and experiences. This international collaboration is vital for tackling cross-border investigations and enhancing the quality of reporting in diverse contexts. The focus on networking emphasizes that collective efforts and shared knowledge are essential in addressing complex global issues, particularly in regions facing unique challenges. This collaboration not only empowers journalists but also strengthens the integrity and reach of investigative journalism worldwide. 3. Educational implications for future journalists. The anticipated growth in investigative journalism necessitates a re-evaluation of educational curricula in journalism schools. As the industry evolves, students must be equipped with advanced skills in research methodologies, digital tools, and ethical reporting practices. This shift in educational focus is critical for preparing the next generation of journalists to meet the demands of an increasingly complex media landscape. By integrating new technologies and collaborative approaches into training programs, educational institutions can ensure that future journalists are well prepared to conduct thorough investigations that are both impactful and responsible. 4. Technological advancements and methodologies. The rise of digital tools and innovative methodologies is transforming investigative journalism, allowing for more effective and comprehensive reporting. As journalists gain access to advanced technologies, their ability to analyze data, conduct research, and collaborate across borders improves significantly. This technological shift not only enhances the capabilities of journalists but also sets new standards for reporting practices. The integration of digital tools into journalism signifies a broader trend towards modernization in the field, where adaptability and technological proficiency become essential skills for success. This evolution is indicative of a larger transformation within the media landscape, where traditional methods are increasingly supplemented by digital innovations to meet the demands of contemporary audiences. 1. Watergate Scandal 1972 to 1974. The Watergate scandal was a major political scandal in the United States that involved a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the subsequent cover-up by members of the Nixon administration. Investigative journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein of The Washington Post played a crucial role in uncovering the details of the scandal, leading to widespread public outcry and ultimately the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. This case underscored the power of investigative journalism in holding government officials accountable and highlighted the importance of a free press in a democratic society. 2. The Pentagon Papers 1971. The Pentagon Papers were a top-secret Department of Defense study detailing the United States' political and military involvement in Vietnam from 1945 to 1967. When Daniel Ellsberg, a former military analyst, leaked the documents to the New York Times, the newspaper faced legal challenges from the Nixon administration attempting to suppress the publication. Ultimately, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Times, affirming the press's right to publish classified information that serves the public interest. This landmark case not only showcased the vital role of investigative journalism in revealing government deception but also set a precedent for press freedoms in the U.S. 3. The exoneration of the Central Park Five 1989 to 2014. The Central Park Five refers to a group of 5 Black and Latino teenagers who were wrongfully convicted of the 1989 assault and rape of a white female jogger in Central Park. Investigative journalism played a key role in uncovering the flaws in the case, including coerced confessions and lack of physical evidence linking the teens to the crime. After years of advocacy and further investigation, the real perpetrator confessed and DNA evidence confirmed his guilt, leading to the exoneration of the Central Park Five in 2002. This case highlights the importance of thorough investigative work in the legal system and its implications for justice and social equity. Future outlook: implications of a projected 35% increase in investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025. The anticipated 35% growth in the sectors of investigative journalism and historical research by early 2025 is poised to bring about significant changes in the global landscape of media education and legal industries. This increase signifies a rising commitment to truth, accountability, and the preservation of cultural narratives responding to public demand for transparency and ethical governance. 1. Impacts on media. A reinforcement of investigative standards. The increase in resources and tools available to investigative journalists will enhance the quality and depth of reporting. Media outlets will likely invest in advanced technologies such as AI-driven analytics and data visualization tools, which can assist in uncovering hidden truths and complex narratives. This trend will not only improve reporting standards but also attract audiences who seek trustworthy information, thereby potentially increasing readership and viewership. B. Diversification of coverage. With more journalists entering the field, there will be a broader range of topics covered, including underreported issues in marginalized communities. This diversification can help elevate local stories to a global audience, fostering a more inclusive media landscape that reflects diverse perspectives. C. Strengthened collaboration. The global connectivity fostered through initiatives like the Global Investigative Journalism Conference (GIJC) will promote cross-border collaborations. Journalists will increasingly share resources and methodologies, allowing for more comprehensive investigations that transcend national boundaries, particularly in cases of international corruption or human rights abuses. 2. Educational implications of curriculum innovations. The rise of investigative journalism will necessitate a re-evaluation of journalism and media education programs. Universities and training institutions will need to update curricula to include training in digital tools, data journalism, and ethical reporting. This will equip future journalists with the necessary skills to navigate complex media landscapes and conduct thorough investigations. B. Interdisciplinary approaches. The integration of historical research into journalism will encourage interdisciplinary approaches in education. Courses combining journalism, history, and social sciences will prepare students to understand the broader context of their reports, enhancing their analytical capabilities and storytelling skills. C. Continuous professional development. As the industry evolves, ongoing training and professional development will become essential. Workshops, online courses, and conferences will provide current journalists with opportunities to learn about new tools and methodologies, fostering a culture of lifelong learning in the profession. 3. Legal industry implications. Enhanced legal protections for journalists. As investigative journalism grows, so will the need for legal protections for journalists. Governments and institutions may be compelled to enact and enforce laws that protect journalists from harassment and intimidation, ensuring their ability to report freely and safely. B. Increased demand for media law expertise. With the rise in investigative reporting, there will be a greater demand for legal professionals specializing in media law. Lawyers will play a crucial role in advising journalists on issues related to freedom of information, defamation, and access to public records, ensuring that investigations are conducted within legal frameworks. C. Accountability mechanisms. The legal industry may see the emergence of new accountability mechanisms for media organizations, particularly regarding ethical standards in reporting. This could lead to the establishment of independent oversight bodies that ensure compliance with journalistic ethics and hold media outlets accountable for misinformation or unethical practices. 4. Global context. At addressing global challenges. The projected increase in investigative journalism and historical research will empower journalists to tackle pressing global issues such as climate change, corruption, and social injustices. By providing in-depth analyses and reporting, journalists will play a pivotal role in shaping public discourse and influencing policy decisions. B. Empowering marginalized voices. As the field grows, there will be greater opportunities for marginalized voices to be heard. Journalists from diverse backgrounds will have platforms to highlight local issues and injustices, fostering greater representation in media narratives. C. Fostering civic engagement. The emphasis on accountability and transparency will encourage civic engagement among the public. As investigative journalism sheds light on critical issues, it will empower citizens to hold their leaders accountable and participate actively in democratic processes. Conclusion. The projected 35% increase in the investigative journalism and historical research sectors by Q1 2025 represents a transformative shift in how media education and legal industries operate globally. As society increasingly demands transparency and accountability, these sectors will adapt and evolve, fostering a more informed public and a more equitable media landscape. By investing in education, embracing technological advancements, and promoting collaboration, stakeholders across these industries can harness this growth to create a lasting impact on society.